So you can tell we are cooking tuna today because the otherwise uninterested Mr. Chef Gigi is in the kitchen to overlook all that I am doing. Sometimes I think he loves tuna more than me, which I just think is sacrilege. But in an effort to be thrifty and healthy today, we have our spiced tuna and pumpkin patties. And they're these wonderful patties that you can't just eat one of, I promise. They're tempered with a wonderful mix of spices and some lovely ginger and a big burst of fresh herbs. Okay, so to start with, you need a very big mixing bowl, and this is my wonderful mixing bowl which has fishies on it. So to start, mashed potato. Okay, that's all you need. And all I did for this was boil my potato in water without any salt until it was completely cooked, and then I made my husband mash it. And that's the great thing about marriage, it's unpaid labor. It's wonderful. Okay, to that I'm going to add my roast pumpkin. Now the pumpkin was roasted very simply, just with some olive oil in the oven until the pumpkin was cooked. So I cut it into a small dice and then just let it roast. Just give this a good mix. Next I'm going to add some red onion, which I've cut into a very small dice, and this is about a tablespoon. If you don't like onion, don't add the onion, but I would recommend adding spring onion in that place then, because it's just a lighter oniony flavor. Mix it around. This is more about assembly more than anything. Also, because most people buy pumpkins like in a large amount, you can roast half, you can make a soup, you can make a vegetable, you can add them to pancakes, you do so many things, and now you can add them to tuna patties. Next I have some ginger, and it is fresh ginger which I've cut up into a fine dice. And it's nice to have a little bit of ginger when you're biting into your patty. It's a little bit of heat that helps. Next I have my spinach, and I always have baby spinach or spinach at home in my fridge. I just take a few of the leaves and I wilt them in some olive oil until they're completely cooked down, and then I squeeze out some of the water, and now I'm just going to add them in. So no salt in this either, because you are going to season your patties in the end. You don't want to, mess around with the seasoning in different batches like this. Look, healthy already. I mean, if you don't eat tuna, even this is fantastic. Next you're going to start adding your spices, and what I have here is my garam masala, and I'm just going to add 1/4 teaspoon of the garam masala. If you can handle more heat, do add some more, but after tasting it. Okay, this is where you get that lovely spiced tuna and pumpkin patties from. You add this wonderful Indian mix of different spices. Also some fennel seeds, because it just works so well with any fish dish. Next you're going to add your tuna. Now I buy these little tiny tins of tuna which come in water, because the ones which come in water are obviously less fat and less calories than the ones that come in oil. Also this way they are easy to kind of manipulate in things like patties and other recipes, because you're not adding extra fat which comes in the form of oil. So here's my tuna, and all I've done is kind of break it up with a spoon after draining out the water, obviously. Another good thing about this dish is that people who don't like the smell of tuna for whatever reason can't smell it in this, because there's so many spices and herbs that kind of mask the smell of the fish but not the flavor. I tested this on a few of my friends recently who don't like tuna, and they couldn't tell that it was canned tuna. So there you go. Give this a mix. Next you're going to get a lime or a lemon, and you're going to add about 1/2 teaspoon of lime or lemon zest into the mix directly. What this does is adds this sort of fresh burst to the patty without you actually, having to realize, oh, that's lemon or lime in there. So just zest away. Okay, that should be enough. It smells so great already. Clearly, can you see that we've added the tuna because we have a little cat behind us? Why are you here? I know. Goodbye. So now that your main ingredients are in, you're going to add some salt. And you're just going to need about a teaspoon of salt. You can taste and adjust by yourself if you want. Just regular table salt. Now mix this part really well, because you want the salt to be completely incorporated when you're finally going to fry the patty. So after you add the salt, don't forget to taste your mix. A little bit more. Oh, that lemon, so wonderfully vibrant. So next we're going to add a squeeze of the lemon juice and also our fresh herbs. Let me get my knife. So you just want a little bit of acid, not quite too much. You don't want it to become too sharp. Okay, there you go, that's it. This is so perfect for summer, I realize, because the flavors are so nice and light, and it's almost like a salad, but it's fried, which is wonderful. Okay, give that a mix. Next, you're going to add your chili, and you can add about 1 chili if you don't like it too spicy, but I don't mind 2. I like 2 chilies. I like cutting my chili super fine, that way no one's going to, like, you know, blow their head off, including me. And if you don't have chilies, you can add a little bit of pepper or some chili powder, even some paprika. It will alter the actual flavor of it, obviously, but not in a bad way, in a good way. Okay? So the entire way that this patty and the mix sticks together is because you are going to add an egg to it. That's why you finish checking the salt and stuff and all the flavors before you add the raw egg to it, because then you can't taste it unless you fry it and cook it out. Alright, so remember that. Do not taste your mix if there's going to be the raw egg in it without you cooking it. You will get sick. Or if you have a fantastic immune system, you'll be perfectly well. Alright, this is 1 egg, and I use the organic eggs because it just tastes better when it comes to savory food like this. Whisk it a little. The egg is the binder, alright? So this is crucial. You do need an egg because otherwise your patty is going to fall apart when it fries. There you go. Next, we're going to add our fresh herbs, and all I have here is some coriander, and I cut it with the stalks as well because I think the stalks add this amazing punch of coriander flavor, and it's just wasteful to not do so. And if you're going to be thrifty during like pandemic times and stuff, use the stalks, okay? Because they're very soft and easy to eat. So just some coriander, and you chop this up fine too. Next, add that in. Now we're going to chop up some mint, and for the mint, yes, do not use the stalks, just use the leaves because you can't actually eat the stalks. They are often too hard to bite into. So you can cut these really roughly, but if you have more time, yeah, you can line them up and julienne them perfectly to get these lovely ribbons, which I do most of the time. Pop your mint in as well. Now just give it a mix. So now that everything is mixed, I'm going to pop this into the fridge for a little bit, and what that's going to do is help the entire thing firm up a little bit more, so it's easier for me to roll and it gets slightly less moist. Alright, and you can put it in the fridge for anywhere between 10 minutes to overnight, whatever you want. Okay, just going to pop this in, and when we are back, we shall be rolling some tuna patties. So now it's time to roll our patties, and to roll our patties, I have very smartly used a ice cream scoop and ice cream scoop and ice cream scoop. Okay, this way you're going to get all your patties the same size, the same weight, and the same width as well if you squish them around the right way. So everything is mixed, and like I said, if your mix was too wet, go ahead and add some breadcrumbs, and I did that. I added like a tablespoon of breadcrumbs because sometimes the liquid in the spinach is a lot, or perhaps your pumpkin as well is too moist. So let's begin. You want really clean hands for this. Fill up your scoop, and away we go. Normally I would roll other patties with like a bowl of water just to dip my fingers, but because these are so moist, you don't actually need that. Okay, that's it. Then you roll in a mix of breadcrumbs and semolina. Now the breadcrumbs will give you that lovely crispiness, and the semolina as well will add to it, but you get the lovely brown color from your breadcrumbs. So you do want to do a mix, but if you don't have it, don't worry. Okay, then just reform them. Okay, that's one, and now I'm going to continue with the others. So make sure that you take off any excess because you don't want them to be bigger than the others. So now it's time to fry our patties. And all I have here is a huge pan. And I'm going to get some neutral oil and just pour that in. Now you are shallow frying them, but you still need a considerable amount of the oil, okay? So I got about 14 to 15 of these. You can get anywhere between 12 to 14 to maybe 16 based on how big your patties are, okay? Let your oil heat up. My patties have rested in the fridge and now I've taken them out. And if you want to add another second coating of the breadcrumbs and semolina, go ahead and do that if you want it to be extra crunchy and crispy. So once your oil is hot enough, start putting your patties in. Be careful not to burn yourself. Don't overcrowd your pan because that way they're just going to get very soft because they'll steam and cook more than fry and cook. Start on a high flame because you're adding so many things to the pan. So the temperature of the pan is going to keep coming down every time you add one more patty. Dust off the excess breadcrumbs. Look at that perfect golden color. That's what you want. You don't want them to become super dark and super brown, okay? So they should brown quite quickly because of the breadcrumbs and the semolina. Look at that perfect color. Once your patties are done, you're going to take them out and put them on some kitchen paper so that the excess oil is going to be absorbed, okay? And that's it. That's how quick it is. Tuna patties that are delicious, healthy, and inexpensive. And those are your spiced tuna and pumpkin patties. And just look at this perfect color, and the crispiness is mind-blowing because it's soft and lovely and moist inside and crispy and crunchy on the outside. So I hope you guys give this a try because they're so easy to make, so easy to freeze, and so very delicious to eat. Full of wonderful herbs and vegetables for you, and also easy on the pocket. So you guys go ahead, like, share, and subscribe.